What if I told you that the way you pump gas, the type of fuel you buy, and even the time of day you fill up could be quietly draining your wallet and damaging your car? For decades, drivers have been passing down so-called gas-saving tips, like family secrets. Except most of them are flat-out wrong. And some, they can actually cost you hundreds of dollars a year or even shorten your engine's life. Today, we're busting the biggest gas myths drivers still believe. And I promise you've probably fallen for at least one. Stick around because myth number 14 is something 70% of drivers admit to doing, and it's slowly killing their fuel system. Why are gas myths so persistent? Gasoline has always been expensive and confusing. There are different octanes, seasonal blends, ethanol contents, and endless advice on how to get the most bang for your buck. Psychologically, people want control over something they can't see: fuel economy. That's why myths spread, because they feel true, even when they're wrong. Today, we'll separate fact from fiction using data from the Environmental Protection Agency, EPA, Society of Automotive Engineers, SAE, and decades of experience from ASE-certified mechanics. Myth number 15. Filling up in the morning gives you more gas. The myth. Fuel is denser when it's cold. So filling up in the morning gets you more gas for your money. The truth. Gas stations store fuel underground where the temperature is stable. Often around 55 degrees Fahrenheit year-round. Whether it's 6 a.m. or 3 p.m., the density of fuel pumped into your car is virtually the same. You're not saving a dime by filling up early. Expert insight. Instead of focusing on time of day, focus on keeping your tank above 1/4 full to protect your fuel pump from overheating. Myth number 14. Running on empty saves money because you're lighter. The myth. Less fuel means less weight, which means better fuel economy. The truth. The difference in fuel economy from carrying a full versus nearly empty tank is negligible. Maybe 0.1 to 0.2 miles per gallon at best. Running on empty, however, overheats the fuel pump because fuel acts as a coolant. A $600 to $1,200 fuel pump replacement wipes out any savings. Expert insight. Keep your tank at least 1/4 full. It's safer and protects expensive components. Myth number 13. Premium gas makes every car run better. And while we're talking about wasting money at the pump, let's clear up one of the most expensive misconceptions out there. A lot of drivers assume premium gas is just better, cleaner, more powerful. Maybe it gives your engine a little boost, right? Not really. Unless your car specifically requires high-octane fuel like many turbocharged or high-compression engines, premium fuel doesn't give you more horsepower, better mileage, or longer engine life. The only thing premium fuel adds is cost. It's not higher quality. It doesn't have special detergents. It simply resists engine knock under pressure, which only matters if your engine is built to need it. In fact, some drivers actually report worse mileage with premium in regular engines.
Why?
Because the engine's timing and sensors don't know what to do with the extra octane, so performance can drop slightly. So, unless your manual says premium required, all you're doing is burning money for no reason. But wasting fuel doesn't stop at the gas station. Myth number 12. Park in the shade. This sounds almost too simple to be on the list. It absolutely belongs here. When your car bakes in direct sunlight, interior temperatures can climb to 130 to 160 degrees Fahrenheit. The moment you start that engine, your AC system has to work overtime just to make a dent in that heat. That extra load hits your fuel economy immediately and stays there until the cabin cools down. Here's what they don't tell you. Fuel itself evaporates faster from a hot tank. Modern evaporative emission systems capture most of this vapor, but thermal stress on your fuel system components adds up over time. A hot fuel tank also affects fuel density in the short run in ways that underground storage tanks don't because your tank is above ground and exposed to direct heat. Here's the kicker. Consistently parking in the shade or using a windshield sunshade isn't just about comfort. It reduces the load on your AC, lowers fuel evaporation, and means your engine starts cooling down faster on hot days rather than fighting a 150 degrees Fahrenheit cabin from the jump. Free tip, free fuel savings. If you're getting value from these fuel saving secrets, now's the perfect time to hit that like button. We've got 11 more myths that could save you thousands at the pump. And you won't want to miss the number 1 myth that every driver needs to know. Now, once you're in that hot car, this next button is the one thing you should hit immediately before anything else. Myth number 11. Hit the AC recirculation button. Most drivers just blast the AC and hope for the best. To save more fuel, you have to hit the recirculation button first. Here's the difference. Without recirculation, your AC system is constantly pulling in hot outside air and trying to cool it from scratch. That's an enormous ongoing load on your compressor. With recirculation on, it's cycling already cooled interior air, which is dramatically easier to maintain. Here's how it actually works. Your AC compressor is driven by your engine. The harder it works, the more fuel it consumes. Pulling 95 degrees Fahrenheit outside air through the system continuously versus recirculating 72 degrees Fahrenheit interior air is not even a close comparison in terms of compressor load. Recirculation mode can reduce the fuel penalty of running AC by a meaningful margin, especially during the first 10 to 15 minutes of driving when the cabin is hottest. Here's the kicker. Once the cabin reaches a comfortable temperature, you can switch back to fresh air mode to keep things from getting stale. But that initial blast of recirculated cooling gets you comfortable faster, reduces compressor strain longer, and saves fuel in the process. It's one button. Use it. Myth number 10. All gasoline is basically the same. Gas is gas, right? Just pick the cheapest pump and go. Not exactly. While most gasoline starts from the same refinery pipelines, what happens after delivery changes everything. That's where detergent packages and proprietary blends come in. Top-tier brands like Shell, Chevron, and Exxon include additives that clean fuel injectors, reduce carbon buildup, and maintain combustion efficiency, often far beyond the EPA minimums. Cheaper off-brand stations may only meet the legal baseline. Some use lower-grade additives or none at all. And fuel that sits too long in underground tanks can absorb moisture or sediment, hurting performance over time. You won't notice it after one tank, but over 50,000 miles, the difference can be hundreds in injector cleanings, rough idle issues, or clogged sensors. So no, not all gas is the same, and saving 5 cents a gallon at a discount station could cost you a lot more in the long run. Myth number 9. Fuel cap holder trick. Most drivers yank the fuel cap off and either hold it, balance it on the car, or set it on the roof where it slides off and becomes a $40 replacement. But look at the inside of your fuel door. Right there on the door itself. Almost every modern vehicle has a little notch or hook specifically designed to hold your fuel cap while you pump. Here's how it actually works. When you let your fuel cap dangle or sit unlatched, you're allowing fuel vapors to escape into the air instead of staying in your sealed tank where they belong. Your evaporative emission system is designed to recapture those vapors and route them back into the engine. Every time you break that seal carelessly, you're venting fuel economy directly into the atmosphere. Here's the kicker. A loose or improperly seated fuel cap is one of the most common triggers for a check engine light. And it can reduce your fuel efficiency over time by allowing vapor loss that your system constantly has to compensate for. 3 seconds to click it into that holder. That's all it takes. And if you think that was an easy win and saved you from a check engine light problem, this next one costs almost nothing, but can recover miles per gallon you didn't even know you lost. Myth number 8. Change your car's air filter. Your engine is basically a giant air pump. It needs clean, unrestricted airflow to burn fuel efficiently. A clogged air filter is like trying to run a marathon while breathing through a wet sock. Your engine compensates by burning more fuel to make up for the oxygen it's not getting. And your miles per gallon take the hit every single mile. Here's what they don't tell you. Most drivers go 30,000 to 50,000 miles between air filter changes when the recommended interval is closer to 15,000 to 20,000 miles, sometimes less if you live somewhere dusty or drive on unpaved roads regularly. A severely restricted filter can drop your fuel economy by up to 10%. That adds up to real money over thousands of miles. Here's the kicker. An air filter replacement costs $15 to $30 at any auto parts store and takes about 5 minutes. No mechanic required, no special tools. You're trading a cup of coffee for potentially hundreds of dollars in recovered fuel economy per year. There is no reason to skip this one. Myth number 7. Using add-on fuel magnets or fuel ionizers saves gas. The myth. These devices claim to align fuel molecules for better combustion. The truth. Every independent test, including those by the U.S. Federal Trade Commission, FTC, shows these are scams. They do nothing measurable for fuel economy or performance. Expert insight. If a product promises 20% better mileage without changing your driving habits, it's probably a scam. Myth number 6. Rolling down windows is always more efficient than AC. The myth, turning off AC and opening windows saves gas no matter what. The truth, at low speeds, yes, windows down is more efficient, but at highway speeds, open windows increase aerodynamic drag, which can reduce fuel economy by up to 10%. Modern AC systems are far more efficient than they were 20 years ago. Expert insight. In city driving, use windows. On the highway, use AC sparingly and keep windows up for best efficiency. Why do drivers keep believing these myths? Comes down to human psychology. Small hacks, filling up early, topping off, running on empty, give drivers control over fluctuating gas prices. Even when presented with data, habits are hard to break because they've been passed down for generations. Myth number 5. Topping off your tank after the nozzle clicks. The myth. Round it up to the nearest dollar or squeeze in more gas after the pump shuts off, you'll get a fuller tank. The truth. Modern fuel systems have vapor recovery systems to prevent spillage and evaporative emissions. Topping off can flood the charcoal canister, leading to expensive repairs, often $400 to $700. Expert insight. When the pump clicks, stop pumping. That's the safest and most cost-effective approach. Myth number 4. Modern cars need to warm up for several minutes. Cold mornings, idling engines, hidden damage. A lot of drivers still let their car warm up for 5, even 10 minutes, thinking they're doing the engine a favor. But that advice hasn't been true since the 1980s. Back then, older carbureted engines needed time to stabilize fuel delivery. If you drove too soon, they'd sputter or stall. But modern engines are a completely different story. Today's cars use electronic fuel injection, oxygen sensors, and onboard computers to adjust everything in real time within seconds. And here's the kicker. Excessive idling does more harm than good. When your car idles cold, it runs rich, dumping extra fuel into the combustion chamber. That fuel can wash down cylinder walls, strip away protective oil, and increase carbon buildup. You're not just wasting time, you're accelerating engine wear, polluting more, and burning through fuel that gets you nowhere. Modern manufacturers and even the EPA now recommend, start the engine, wait 30 seconds, and drive gently. That warms everything faster and protects critical components. Old habits die hard, but this one's costing you more than just gas. Myth number 3. The manual saves gas myth. Welcome to 2025, where the machines have officially beaten us and the data proves it brutally. This myth was true in 1995. Back then, automatics had 3 or 4 gears and heavy torque converters that slipped, wasting 10 to 15% of engine power. But today, modern automatics, whether 10-speed planetary gearboxes or continuously variable transmissions, are statistically superior to human drivers. A customer of mine insisted his 6-speed manual Honda Civic got better mileage than the CVT version. We borrowed an identical CVT model and did a back-to-back highway test. Same route, same speeds, same day. His manual averaged 38.2 miles per gallon. The CVT, 42.7 miles per gallon. He was losing 4.5 miles per gallon because he shifted at the wrong RPMs and cruised in 5th gear when 6th was optimal. According to Consumer Reports, only 18% of new car buyers even choose manual transmissions anymore. And fuel economy isn't the reason. It's purely for driving engagement. Speaking of efficiency, the biggest drag on your fuel economy isn't inside the car. It's bolted on top of it, and it's costing you $300 per year. Myth number 2. The permanent roof rack. You bought that roof rack or cargo box for a camping trip 3 years ago. You used it for one weekend, but you never took it off. It looks kind of cool, right? Plus, taking it off is a hassle. You figure it's aerodynamic. It's designed to slice through air. Leaving it on probably costs me pennies. Physics disagrees violently. Leaving a roof rack on your car when empty is like bolting a parachute to your roof, and it's draining $26 from your wallet every single month. Consumer Reports ran extensive wind tunnel and real-world tests on this exact issue. They found that even an empty roof rack decreases fuel efficiency by 5%. Add a cargo box and you're losing up to 13% of your MPG. That's not a rounding error. That's massive. The air turbulence created by those crossbars disrupts laminar flow over the vehicle, forcing your engine to work significantly harder just to maintain 65 miles per hour. At highway speeds, aerodynamic drag accounts for over 60% of your engine's workload. Pause this video right now. Go look at your car. Is there anything on your roof that isn't being used today? Take it off this weekend and watch your fuel economy improve immediately. Physical drag is expensive, but chemical scams are worse, and they're waiting for you at every gas station checkout. Myth number 1. The fuel additive fix. You're standing at the counter to pay for your gas. You see a shelf of colorful bottles, octane booster, MPG magic, fuel system optimizer. The label promises to clean your injectors, boost your mileage by 20%, and make your old engine run like new. It's only $12. You think, why not? It's cheap insurance. It's not insurance. It's kerosene, marketing, and a $450 repair bill waiting to happen. 3 months ago, a college student brought in his 2015 Ford F-150. It was misfiring violently and throwing multiple check engine codes. He admitted he'd been using a bottle of octane booster at every fill-up because the internet told him it would give him more power. When we pulled the spark plugs, they were coated in a thick, rusty orange glaze from the MMT chemical in the additive. That $12 bottle didn't give him more power. It cost him $450 in diagnostics, new spark plugs, and replacement ignition coils. The MMT had created conductive deposits that were shorting out his ignition system. When you pour that $12 bottle into your tank, you're diluting the precisely engineered chemistry of the fuel. Independent lab tests from AAA have shown that while some additives containing PEA can clean injectors, they have zero measurable impact on fuel economy for a car that's already running fine. According to industry data, Americans spend over $2 billion annually on unnecessary fuel additives. If your check engine light isn't on, your fuel system doesn't need a fix.